Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. Once again, this is Trisha from Tribe to Village. This is our tribe, our village, our family, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you. And today we have a little treat. Today I'm joined by Liz Azeizat, the owner of In One Piece, and she's an amazing mindset coach. Welcome, Liz.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Trisha. I appreciate it. And thanks
Yep.
for the very warm welcome.
Anytime, girl. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
And Liz is going to help us talk about that dreaded four-letter word. That word that causes trouble in all of our lives. That word that just won't let us be great.
Hmm.
And that word is fear.
Ooh, what a build up. What a build up.
Oh my gosh, fear is something else. And whew, especially that fear of failure. Oh my goodness, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of love, fear of so many things. It could
Hmm.
really just, ruin a lot of things in our life. So, Liz, thank you so much. And I know that as a mindset coach, like you have some great insight as to how we could, tackle fear or overcome fear, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I appreciate that because it's one thing to kind of come at it from the perspective of like a mindset coach, but I'm also coming at it from the perspective of someone that has experienced it, is
Mm-hmm.
still experiencing it, and at this point, I'm just sharing those experiences.
Oh, you're
Um,
still experiencing it? So you mean as a mindset coach, you're not over fear? You
so
didn't
here,
learn how to conquer it?
no, I mean, are you kidding me? Like, it's such a layered process, because fear it's a part of us. It's something that just, biologically helps keep us safe, when it's grounded in reality.
Mm-hmm.
But when we give it a life of its own, that's definitely when it becomes, detrimental. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's definitely a process that comes, with fear, and it's not necessarily overcoming it, but it's more about building this different kind of relationship with it,
Mm. You
where you're
see,
not.
that's
Yeah.
why you need a mindset coach. It's not about overcoming, but building a different relationship with fear.
Yeah, because you don't want to avoid it. I mean, all of this is a part of you. So
Mm-hmm.
to deny fear is really to deny, a part of yourself. It's really just about recognizing, where it's showing up in a negative space. Even if it's through motivation, and I want to just like give you an example, I was laid off like almost a year ago, and things kind of come to the surface when
Mm-hmm.
you're forced to stop and really like to pivot it, so things bubble up, and I realize like how much my mindset, what I think, how I think, like how much it just like deeply influenced and drove like what I thought about myself, other people, my situations, and really just influence, the decisions I make. And so much of that was grounded in fear.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you mentioned in your introduction,
Yeah.
that came to the surface, and you have a choice either to kind of pull back and avoid that, and you know let it be in the driver's seat, or you work through it, and you develop a healthy relationship with it.
And that's a great point because I feel, well, I could speak for myself. I normally associate fear with something negative. You could tell by my little introduction. I was like, that four-letter word that ruins your life. Right?
It was heavy. Yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah. But, it goes back to something else. Like it all goes back to perspective. You could
Mm,
use the fear to look at it as something that ruins your life or something that pushes you through life. or helps you to make different decisions or to protect you. And I didn't really think about that until now. So thank you, Liz, for that.
No, you're welcome. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head, perspective. I think, it, people fear because there's this, I mean, to be real, right? Fear doesn't want to be discovered. It wants you to internalize it. It wants you to see it as a reflection of your worth, your value, your abilities. I mean, that's how it gets cemented in us, right? If we really faced fear and used, the power of our thoughts to kind of see things through, I think, yeah, it definitely shifts things, because our thoughts are powerful. You see how it creates these really strong associations with things. And a lot of times it's the negative thoughts that stay with us. But I think we can use the power of our thoughts to kind of see ourselves through that fear. And for me, it's a couple, it's a few steps that, I try to take that, really resonate with me and that I try to work through with my clients.
Mm-hmm. So someone who has a negative relationship with fear, right? Someone who's struggling with it, what do you do as a mindset coach to help them through that, to help them dissect it and, become and find a better place?
Great question. It definitely depends on the client, so part of it for me is building a relationship with you, is, figuring out, what your values are. And first you have to do that for yourself before you can share that, with anybody. Mm-hmm. So it's really figuring out what this fear stems from, a belief that you have. What is that belief? And then kind of keep going with it. What does that belief make me feel? What does that belief make me think about myself? What did I ever benefit from this belief? And chances are that you did. Chances are that fear at one point did benefit you. And that shows up a lot of times for people as fear of failure.
Oh, yes.
So, right. It ends up being like a motivator. So fear will disguise itself. Like it doesn't want to be discovered. So it'll show up as like this, helpful friend for you. But I think it's really just like, it's like getting to know anyone in your life and building a relationship. It's asking questions, but you're doing it of yourself. Like for me, it's something even as external as a fear of swimming. And that fear for me stems from not feeling like I'm going to be able to save myself. Wow. Like it's so deep, but it manifests as this inability or unwillingness to at least try. And I've actually tried this summer, because I had to recognize, like, where is this coming from? It's deeper than just swimming. Mm-hmm. If everything was that simple, we'd get there a little quicker, but it's not. So it's really just asking yourself, like, where is this coming from? And building like compassion towards your fears and towards yourself, and seeing it as like a part of you that might need to be nurtured and nourished a little bit more to feel confident and capable and worthy, because it's been hiding back there for so long.
Yeah. Oh, so you would kind of help people peel back the layers and get to the root of the fear.
Ooh, I love that you said that. Because that's exactly what it's been for me. And as a coach, like I'm really just like, I'm a few steps ahead of you, just holding that lantern. So yeah, I'm continuously peeling back layers, because as I've developed my business, that professional development, every door that's opened for me, there's been a personal thing that I've had to face, and all of it says like fear on the door. It's just different
Woo.
rooms, right? Fear of success, fear of failure, fear of, you know, not being enough, right? Fear of not building the business to the vision that I have. So all of those come up. So it's important to face them, whether you're trying to move in your personal life, move forward, or move forward in your professional life. It's all a relationship.
Yeah, I think that is one of the best advice that you could give our viewers. And I know for me, for example, I had a fear of relationships. And I didn't even know I had a fear of relationships. So it's like, and one thing I always wanted was to have a good relationship. So I was fearful of the very thing that I so desperately wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it. So I would self-sabotage relationships without even knowing it because of this underlying fear that I didn't know that I had. And it wasn't until, I met my husband and he kind of just like forced me to address it. Like when I tried to sabotage the relationship, he wasn't going anywhere.
He held up that mirror.
Yeah, he asked me questions and he's like, why would you say that? Or why would you do that? And then when I started to look inwards, I realized that fear stemmed from, not seeing a lot of healthy relationships as I was growing up. The closest person to me, my mother, she wasn't in a great relationship. So I think I kind of internalized that, and that fear just became a part of who I was. And it wasn't until, like you said, I attacked that fear head on that I was even aware of it and then could start addressing it.
Oh, I mean, that is so powerful because, I mean, think about it. That fear was preventing you from this fundamental human need for connection. So there's like the one side where there's the need for it, and then there's the other side where there's the fear of it. And that does exist simultaneously.
Yeah.
But not recognizing that fear is there, that actually leaves you more vulnerable to being hurt. Recognizing that fear is there and then talking yourself through it.
Yes.
It allows you to not internalize it. And I really loved that you said that, because that fear, what it sounds like to me, is just a fear of replicating that, that yes. behavior or those actions that you really made you feel crappy. So that's the benefit, is that you avoided feeling crappy. But what did it end up doing for you now? That doesn't serve you anymore, because you want to connect. So you did exactly, what I would encourage, and it's to deal with that head on, to really hear it, to bring it to the surface and shed light on it. And that allows you to see it differently. Everything looks different in the sun. Everything sparkles in the sun, even that fear. So I love and I give you a lot of kudos for doing that and being vulnerable enough to do that. And you have a beautiful family to show for it. So I love it.
Thank you. I'm just so thankful. It took a lot of work. And it took a lot of, internal work, and it's not easy. It's not easy. And that's why your work as a mindset coach is so important, because we all deal with fear. And some of us, we're not even aware of it or aware of the way it impacts our life or our ability to function. So, thank you, Liz, for entering that field where you could help people, develop a healthier relationship with their fear, or to get to the root of it, to actually have it benefit them.
Oh, thank you so much for like bringing all of these different, shadow feelings to light. I think it's so important, and thank you for this opportunity. For me, there's always a fear in that, like, what you have to say doesn't have value, and I appreciate you creating that platform to really just express that and know that it does have value. No matter who
Yes.
or how many people it reaches. So thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you so much for reminding us that we need to tackle our fear head on, that we need to view fear differently, right? Depending on how it impacts us. And that we could get through anything once we peel back the layers.
I love it. Yes.
Thank you for
Thank
joining us.
you.
And thank you to all our wonderful viewers. Thank you for checking in and taking the time to be with us. And let's continue to elevate and grow together. And let's show fear that it has no control over us. We could control it, right, Liz?
I love it. I love it. Yes. Yeah, it's waiting for you to tell it what to do at the end of the day.
You just got to own it, right?
Yes, I love that. Yes.
Thank you so much. So please, if you're joining us for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button, and drop a